the great American we studied was Wilma Rudolph. Won't tell too much more about her, but you'll learn a lot about her through this story.
Okay.
And we had planned to show you what we learned about Wilma Rudolph way back in February, and then we were privileged enough to work with Kenny from the Seattle Children's Theater, who is very, very familiar to you, and he helped us make it even better. So we're happy to share it with you now. So enjoy the show, and I'm standing in for a student.
No one expected such a tiny girl to have her first birthday. In Clarksville, Tennessee, in 1940, life for a baby was just over 4 pounds of blood was sure to be limited. But most babies didn't have 19-year-old brothers and sisters to watch over them. Most babies didn't have a mother who knew all mornings and a father who worked several jobs. Most babies weren't Wilma Rudolph. Happy birthday, dear Wilma. Happy birthday to you.
Wilma did celebrate her first birthday, and everyone noticed that as soon as this girl could walk, she ran or jumped instead. She worried people, though. She was always so small and sickly. If a brother or sister had a cold, she got double pneumonia. If one of them had measles, Wilma got measles too, plus mumps and chickenpox. Her mother always nursed her at home. Doctors were a luxury for the Rudolph family. And anyway, only one doctor in Clarksville would treat black people.
Just before Wilma turned 5, she got sicker than ever. Her sisters and brothers heaped all of the family's blankets on her, trying to keep her warm. During that sickness, Wilma's left leg was twisted inward, and she couldn't move it back. Not even Wilma's mother knew it was wrong. The doctor came to see her then. Besides scarlet fever, he said, Wilma had also been stricken with polio. In those days, most children who got polio either died or were permanently crippled. There was no cure. The news spread around Clarksville. Wilma, that lively girl, would never walk again. But Wilma kept moving any way she could. By hopping on one foot, she could get herself around the house, to the outhouse in the backyard, and even on Sundays to church. Wilma's mother urged her on. Mrs. Rudolph had plenty to do. Cooking, cleaning, sewing patterns, flour sacks, and clothes for her children, now 22 in all. Yet twice every week, she and Wilma took the bus to the nearest hospital that would treat black patients, some 50 miles away in Nashville. They rode together in the back, the only place blacks were allowed to sit. Doctors and nurses at the hospital helped Wilma do exercises to make her paralyzed legs stronger. At home, Wilma practiced them constantly, even when it hurt. To Wilma, what hurt most was that the local school wouldn't let her attend because she couldn't walk. Tearful and lonely, she watched her brothers and sisters run off to school each day, leaving her behind. Finally, tired of crying all the time, she decided she had to fight back, somehow.
Wilma worked so hard at her exercises that the doctors decided she was ready for a heavy steel brace. With the brace supporting her leg, she didn't have to hop anymore. School was possible at last. But it wasn't the happy place she had imagined. Her classmates made fun of her brace.
You got a brace! You got a brace! You got a brace!
During playground games, she could only sit on the sidelines, twitching with impatience. She studied the other kids for hours, memorizing moves, watching the ball zoom through the rim of the bushel basket they used as a hoop. Wilma fought the sadness by doing more leg exercises. Her family always cheered her on, and Wilma did everything she could to keep them from worrying about her. At times, her leg really did seem to be getting stronger. Other times, it just hurt.
One Sunday on her way to church, Wilma felt especially good. She and her family had always found strength in their faith, and church was Wilma's
favorite place in the world. Everyone she knew would be there, talking and laughing, praying and singing. It would be just the place to try the bravest thing she'd ever done. She hung back while people filled the old building. Standing alone, with the sound of hymns coloring the air, she unbuckled her heavy silk brace and set it by the church's front door. And taking a deep breath, she moved one foot in front of the other. Her knees trembling violently, she took her mind off her knees, and by concentrating on taking another breath and another breath.
Whispers rippled throughout the gathering. Wilma Rudolph was walking. Row by row, heads turned toward her as she walked alone down the aisle. All her family's friends, everyone from school, each person stared wide-eyed. The singing never stopped. It seemed to burst right through the walls and into the trees. Finally, Wilma reached a seat in the front and began singing too. Her smile triumphed.